soothing voice as it tells the story of the lost nexus. And so, our story begins with a little old lady who is not as old as she appears, mainly because she's, well, 21. The Princess Leeona in the kingdom of Ferocita. You see, in this world, there were 9 kingdoms, each housing their own main nexus. What is a nexus, you must be asking? A nexus is a source of unbelievable amounts of magic. A nexus is a source of power for hundreds of thousands of people. A nexus? Why, a nexus is what allows a kingdom to be called a kingdom. For under the power and the protection of a nexus, it leaves wars to be entirely forgotten. These different nexuses were known by their orders, by their domains. There was the Strength Nexus, known for their valor and for their might. There was the Nature Nexus, known for their command over the plants and life in the world. There was the Air Nexus, known for their lightheartedness, known for their command of the skies. There was the Water Nexus. These people were known for going with the flow. These people, they were known for living life to its fullest. Then there was the Earth Nexus. These people had a hard stance. They were stubborn in their resolve, and they knew for a fact that they would be successful as long as they gave it their truest try. There was also the Fire Nexus, known for their passion, known for their rage. The Fire Nexus, they live their lives in such a way that it feels as if they are living to their fullest, to their true potentials, to their power. Okay. Then there was the Sun Nexus, known for their praising of warmth and light, known for shedding truth upon the darkness. Then there was the Moon Nexus, known for their secrets and for their mystery. They live their lives in a kingdom that is lost to the world, unknown. The rain. Then we have the Storm Nexus, known for their ferocity. They bring fire and lightning upon the world. These people, why? They do their best to cause little chaos here and there. And finally, the Void Nexus, known only in legend, as it will be the consumer and the end of all time. No one knows when this kingdom shall appear, but when it does, they know that it will be an omen of the end times. These kingdoms, these nexuses, They are the foundation of society here. But regardless, our story involves one specific person. The princess of the kingdom of the nature nexus. Second oldest of her of her two siblings. There was the oldest, one strange child by the name of Mira. She had rebelled against her parents after they named their third child a wondrous boy by the name of Clover to be the heir of the nature nexus kingdom, as he was the only male child that they had produced. Now, Leeona, as she was called, she wasn't bitter about her younger brother becoming the heir to the throne, as, well, she loved her younger brother, and who wouldn't? He was the kindest, most gentle spirit that she had ever known. She herself, well, she was more content to be out celebrating. Out in the court, spending time with the people, spending time with those fine individuals who make up the court and the noble families. But this morning, Leeona, well, to say the least, she felt like she woke up that morning with a splitting headache. One clearly indicative of a monstrously large hangover. Clearly there had been a feast the night before. What for, she couldn't remember. She's attended so many parties that they've all kind of muddled together. Though there was something special about this feast. After all, she hadn't normally gotten this, well, wasted. Regardless, she went to the lower areas, the dining room, if you will, the kitchens. It was breakfast time, and there was a wonderful smell emanating from the kitchens. And so that's where she went. Inside, she found not the kitchen staff, but her younger brother, heir to the throne, cooking like some common salesperson. Oh, goodness gracious. Not again. Clover, you know you really shouldn't be cooking. It's really not. Well, it's not up to your station. I'm sorry. It's just. I don't know. I thought that the kitchen staff could use a break. You know? I mean, with all the cooking they've been doing for the last few days, they really didn't need to feed, well, just the two of us. I mean, we could work with just some bacon and eggs, right? I suppose. Well then, yeah. So just go to the dining room. Wait there, okay? I will bring you the most delicious breakfast you've ever had. And at least I hope you'll enjoy it. Leeona just kind of smiled and chuckled. Her brother was usually like this. Kind of silly and stumbling. It's weird to think that he would be. Something clicked in her brain at that moment. Of course! The feast last night. Oh, he's being coronated today. Of course. How could I forget? course, it was her brother's coronation that day, and the feast the night before was to celebrate. It was so silly of her to forget. But can you really blame her? I mean, with the amount of wine she'd consumed the previous night. Oh, I don't think anyone can think straight after that. No, no, no. Regardless, she made her way to the dining room, and soon a plate of food was placed before her by her younger brother. It was, well, food, if you could call it food. Um, it was a little crispy on the edges, and the bacon was chewier than it likely was supposed to have been, but she ate it happily anyway, for her brother had made it for her. After breakfast, she got up and moved on to the preparations for that day. She got all the cleaning staff and gear, refurbishing the castle to its most beautiful, bringing the castle to its gleaming, shining, shimmering state. She then checked on the kitchen staff who were, well, cooking, as to be expected. They were preparing a feast to be celebrated after the coronation was complete. She checked on the performers and the musicians that were to be played that day. They had their songs prepared and their instruments tuned. Check and check. Next, she found the stableman, and ensured that their soon arriving dignitaries would have places to store their steeds and their carriages. Satisfied with their preparations, she returned to her room. Finally, it's all done. You know, Clover's been working hard. Should go make sure that he's okay. I mean, after all, the dignitaries should be arriving soon, right? Yeah. I'm gonna go make sure that he's doing all right. And so she did just that. Walking down to the throne room, recently vacated, as the father had been, well, as the father had been assassinated the previous month. It tore the kingdom apart, or as much as it was allowed to. But now was the time to bring their people back together, to bring their people back to the state it was before. This coronation, this would revive the Nature Nexus kingdom. This would bring joy to their people. So it had to be perfect. Soon, dignitaries began to arrive. Vesuvius, the leader of the Fire Nexus kingdom, strode in the hall confidently. Leeona, it's good to see you. How have you been? We've been good here. Just getting everything prepared, right? Indeed. Indeed. The stablemen, rather. They were rather welcoming. And for that, we appreciate you. The flaming stallions we brought are, well, they could be a handful sometimes. Yeah, so we've heard. We had special stables prepared for them. And I noticed. Thanks for that. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, of course. Just if you make your way to the Grand Hall, you'll find that seats and preparations have been made for you. Soon, the leader of the Strength Kingdom, a man who simply went by the name Chad, walked in. Hey there, Leeona. What's going on? Nothing much. Just getting ready for the ceremony. Yeah, I can understand that. Hey, well, I brought my fiancée. You want to meet her? Oh, I'd love to, but I do have to greet the other dignitaries. Yeah, of course. I can introduce you guys at the after party. Sounds wonderful. Soon, though, the queen of the Nature Nexus's rival kingdom arrived. Of course, he took it in stride. Took life in stride, as most of the Water Kingdomers do. Her cape and her cloak flowing behind her, she had an air of elegance to her, one not found in most people. Esme, queen of the Water Kingdom, approached Leeona. Why, hello, dear. How are you doing today? This woman was conniving. She was secretive and was actually the prime suspect in their father's assassination plot. Behind her, though, she had her little followers. Sycophants of the highest degree. People that would follow power to the end of the earth, but not truly care about it. There was the usuals. Lord Demetrius of the mages. Serophatha of the local farmers' guild. And one new stranger, shrouded in a cloak. Her face. His face? Their face, hidden. Pretty thoroughly. They didn't give off an air of pleasantness. An air of subjugation. No, this one gave off an air of rebellion. An air of conflict. Regardless, Ismay approached Yana even further, even closer than before. Hello, Ismay. How are you doing today? Oh, I'm doing quite well. Yes, after all, it is your brother's coronation, correct? I think you know the answer to that question. Yes, yes, I do. So, have you been missing Daddy? This set Leeona off, for no one was as infuriating to her as Ismay. She was a pain in Leona's side constantly. Was a pain in her father's side, and was a pain in her mother's side before she had passed years and years ago. No, Ismay was not a pleasant person. Though her entourage were more respectful. After all, wait, where did the woman in the cloak go? I mean, after all, the figure was that of a woman. Upon noticing that Leeona was getting suspicious, Ismay snapped. Attention here, dearie. You haven't answered my question. Mainly because I think your question is leading. Oh, are we using fanciful court terms now? No. Just, what are you here for, Ismay? You've never cared about me, my brother. Why, I'm here for the coronation, of course. For those truly in high society, we find ways to present ourselves at functions like this. Yes, functions like this. Well, if you'd like to kindly make your way to the Great Hall, the festivities will be occurring there. Oh, of course, darling. It sent chills of disgust down Leona's spine as she heard this woman call her such an endearing term. She was relieved when Queen Ismay finally left her behind to, well, to live. She was, of course, smiling and happy when the other dignitaries had begun to arrive. But something didn't sit right with her. Who was that woman? Where did she go? Regardless, it was finally time for her to approach the situation of her own garb and dress. For the ruffled thing she was wearing at the current moment was fine for greeting dignitaries, but definitely not when it came to terms of ceremonial importance. So she returned to her room, began to prepare herself. She applied makeup, using her powers to add an extra splash of color, using her magic to make herself seem more vibrant. Using her magic, she applied flowers to her hair. And using her magic, she gave herself a scent of flowers. Gave herself a scent of nature and of the world and of life. This, my friends, is the power of the nature nexus, for it allows those in the world to make the world a more beautiful place. Make things better looking and appearing better. Thankfully, the world would become a better place, regardless of whether the nature nexus was around or not. Something that, well, something that people needed to realize. But soon she found something strange happening to her magic. For with it, she had a strength to her, a finesse to her walk, something that allowed her to be refined and dignified despite the fact that her head was still splitting. The fact that her breath still smelled of alcohol. No, she was not a noblewoman. But she would play the part as required of her. Though, something strange, as I mentioned previously, was happening. As soon she felt herself becoming heavier, felt her headache amplify. She attempted to use her magic to relieve her senses, to relieve her feeling of sluggishness. And yet, as she reached out for her source of power, she found it distant, far away. She reached again, harder, farther. Yet it still seemed to grow distant. She searched for the nexus with her senses. She found it not in its chamber, but out in the city, moving away from the castle. she immediately used what magic she had to run, to exit the castle, and to leap. Plants extending from her feet and allowing her to grow and reach heights not previously known by human bounds. No, she reached the tops of buildings, and in the distance she found the nexus. The orb about the size of 2 handspans wide. It glowed with a powerful green energy, visible even through the cloak of that mysterious stranger. The said stranger, using nature magic of her own, to jump from building to building to building. Leeona gave chase, sprinting and running and dashing. She jumped from one building to the next, using nature itself to give her power, to give her an extra oomph, an extra amount of energy. It would seem as if the mysterious person was managing to draw more power from the nexus. So that made sense, as anyone in contact with the nexus would find their own abilities boosted beyond all reason. No, this person was clearly a very powerful nature mage. But without the nexus, they would not be moving nearly as fast as they currently were. Soon Leeona found her powers fading and fading, more and more, leaving each jump less power, leaving each step with less speed. And soon she was outpaced by the stranger. This woman in a cloak, who had hidden herself very distinctly, but who had arrived in Ismay's entourage. Now, this was a crime of the highest and most capital punishment. This was something that could ruin their kingdom even more than it was already damaged. The loss of the king had damaged the kingdom, yes, but the loss of the nexus would destroy their kingdom. They would lose their magic. They would lose their power. The kingdom's crops would not flourish as well as they did before. And soon the forest would overtake them, growing over their buildings and over their homes, taking all that they knew away from them. Without the nexus, the nature kingdom would come to an end. Now this was a problem. Very obviously. And so she ran, sliding down the building, the roof, and landing very precariously on the ground. She felt as if she had almost sprained an ankle, though what little magic she had managed to repair that. Though it felt as if that was the last of it. Everything else she had known was gone. She felt sluggish. She felt weak. And so, slumped, she made her way back to the castle. Step by step, meter by meter, kilometer by kilometer. Though, there was only 2 of those. No, she walked back to the castle and found her brother. Hey, Clover? Yeah, what is it? We might have a problem. What do you mean? I think the coronation's preparations are going well, and, well, the dining hall is looking wonderful for the feast afterwards, right? It is looking good, right? Yeah, you could say that. But Clover, the Nexus is gone. Clover looked shocked for a second, but then a last smile crossed his face. Oh, that's a good joke right there, isn't it, Lee? Though now really isn't the time for joking, is it? I mean, if the nature nexus were really gone, I wouldn't be able to. He paused as he placed his hand in front of him, palm up. Oh no. Oh no is right. Um, that's not good. Yeah, you don't say. Um, uh, what do we do? Without the nature nexus, our crops are gonna fail. Our lives are gonna. Clover, Clover, calm down. It'll be all right. Just, I know what I gotta do. I gotta, I gotta get it. I gotta find the nexus. But, 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 you don't know where it could be. Um, I might have a clue. Really? Yeah. Remember the old stories? What do you? Oh, the comparator. Exactly. I just, I gotta go into the archives and find the comparator. Then I can find the nexus. I'll hunt it down, and maybe I don't know, win it back. Yeah, I like that plan. I like it. But wait, what about the dignitaries? Oh, right, them. Yeah, them. What about them? What are we gonna do? Um, I know. I'll go out and look for the nexus. You distract them. Distract them? I'm 16. What am I supposed to do to distract them? Yeah, you're 16, but you're also the heir to the Nature Kingdom throne. Oh, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, okay. I will do my best to entertain them while you go find the Nexus. I mean, we need it for the ceremony, don't we? Yeah, that's exactly why we need to go find it immediately. Well, you know, that and the whole kingdom falling apart thing. Clover, focus. Right. Sorry. Right. You find the Nexus, the comparator and the Nexus, and I'm going to go distract the dignitaries. Yeah, that sounds like a plan to me. Good. Now, go! Oh, right, yes, sorry. Um, Clover exclaimed as he rushed out of the room, back to the great hall where he was supposedly going to distract the dignitaries. Now this was a grand task. The archives were no minor place. You know, the archives were a place of magic. Magic that was now gone. Right. Um, yeah, that's not gonna end well, is it? Okay, it's fine. I'm going to go, and I'm gonna. Oh, I know it is! The ancient artifact section! And with that, she was off, dashing down the halls, though she found herself growing tired more easily now. After all, after only 40 seconds of hard sprinting did she begin to breathe heavily. No, this was not normal for her. Normally she could run for minutes, even hours. But then, without a nexus, she was weak. She was inferior. Arriving at the archives, She found them in shambles. The normally masterful and magical place was a mess, was in shambles. No, the archives had lost their light, had lost their spark. Because of that, it was easy to find those remaining magical artifacts. She quickly located a comparator, a small circular disc-like device that was inlaid with gold, inlaid with gems, each gem representing a different nexus. Now, two of the nexus were, well, not able to be found, though one of them was apparently supposedly allowed to be discovered so long as they activated their comparator, the moon nexus, though the void nexus itself was also missing entirely. And so she pressed on the gem. It was bright green, an emerald of the most valuable variety. With this, she found herself smiling, as things just seemed to feel a little bit better, as she felt the connection with the nature nexus once more, though it was far, far away. Soon she had gotten on their fastest horse, and soon they were running, sprinting, down through the alleys, through the streets. Soon they were out in the forest, following the direction of that great artifact. They ran, and they ran, and they took a break now and then, as the horses seemed to get tired more easily. Yes, things had fallen, to say the least. Become normal. Though, normal for us is not normal for them. At this rest, she heard something, though. Across the pond there was a shuffling, and hushed voices.
What are we supposed to do? Of course, you idiot. We're supposed to get back to the base. What do you mean the base? What do you mean? What do I mean the base? You know, you're an idiot sometimes. I'm not the idiot, you're the idiot.
Soon these two figures came into view. Shrouded in cloaks similar to that of the mysterious woman, they walked through this open clearing. They seemed to be two grunts, two lackeys, not owning nearly the same rebellious vibe. No, they were two idiots, to say the least. But they knew something. They knew the base of operations, at least from what she could assume. The woman.
Well, first we gotta get back to camp.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Well, where's camp?
The thinner of the two figures said. The larger one simply facepalmed. Camp's literally over there.
What? Oh. Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, of course you do. Even a dip like you could see it from here. She looked at the poison in the direction that they had pointed, and indeed, there were tents set up over there. And in them, she felt something. An extension of the nexus. As if a piece had been broken off. She approached and, well, what she found was that same shadowed figure. The woman.
You idiots done blathering yet?
No.
What? What do you mean, no? You know what? Doesn't matter. I don't need to listen to you folks. You two idiots. What are you doing?
Well, we were supposed to be out scouting.
Yes, that's kind of the point of scouting missions. What are you doing here? Oh, we didn't think of that. We didn't think of that, did we?
No, we didn't. It's
Just get out of here, all of you, both of you. Go to your jobs.
uh, 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 right me.
Don't call me me. I'm not some endearing fiend of yours.
Right, Miss Maya.
That name. That was. Well, that was similar to a name of someone in her past. A name that was oddly familiar. As if. And it clicked. Maya was what Mira would like to call herself. Back when she was. Well, back when she was first beginning to rebel against their parents. Her sister, Mira. She stood up and walked closer, but she stepped on a branch in the process. Soon there was a jolt of awareness within the cloaked figure.
But where are we supposed to go?
Shut up, both of you. There's someone here. You can come out. We know you're there. Soon. Discovered. Leeona. Leeona. She. Well. She came out of the bushes. And Mira was immediately on guard. Soon she had drawn her sword and pulled out an orb. A small, handheld orb. It was glowing with a green energy of its own. That was what she had sensed earlier. That was that extension of the nature nexus. You! Leeona, what are you doing here? I'm not doing anything. What do you mean you're not doing anything? This is miles away from the kingdom. You know, don't you? Of course you know. Boys,
Yes, Mira, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
the two grunts said as they turned and approached. Soon they attacked, pulling cudgels from their belts and swinging with a ferocity. Indeed, they were not going to be playing games here today. No, they were not here to play, they were here to kill. Here to cripple. For this was their territory. Because of that, they were not going to let anyone take it away from them. And so they approached with their cudgels. And they brought Leeona to her knees and then to her stomach, beating her and beating her and beating her. Normally, these two men would have been no problem for her to take, but with her current haggard state and her weakness, she was unable to fight them off. And so, as her consciousness faded, the only thing she could see was the feet of her sister as she turned and walked